This is Andy Parole for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by cruiserweight contender Sam Hyde. Sam, how you keeping?
Yeah, good mate, good. Just finished a good session.
I was going to say, it's been good to come down once again, catch up with everyone. Just talking about how your camp is going, because it seems to be it's going to be a prolonged one for yourself as you wait for the right opportunity to drop.
Yeah, see, I don't go in camp anymore. You know, I used to when I knew exactly, when I was kind of a bit more involved with the promotion, when it was small halls where I'm fighting this day, and I'd know, so I'd go away or whatever, and then I've got a few weeks to chill, and then I know camp starts. But now I've just got to stay ready. But it is hard because obviously if you're training all the time, you can't train at 100%. So I've got to kind of pace myself, and sometimes it's hard. And if something comes up, even though I'm in training, might not have got sparring. So I was supposed to fight July, but that got cancelled, and then there was a few other dates. So I'm just going to fight now, September 22nd, on my manager's show, Joe Gallagher. He's got a show on. It's just a little show on a Sunday afternoon. Get out, and then hopefully a big one October, November, December, finish the year strong.
How difficult can it be to keep yourself motivated? I know since Riakporhe, I know you had a bad injury, so you had to let that heal over on your eye. But when you look at Jose Burton as well, and the unlucky story that he's had since he fought Frank Buglioni with regards to opportunities not dropped for him, how frustrating is it for yourself in this current situation?
You know, luckily, I've learned off the likes of like Jose Burton, and in situations like that. So I keep myself busy outside of boxing. You know, a lot of people. I've got a lot going on outside of boxing. All positive though. Like just to keep my mind occupied. Because if you're just going the gym day in day out and you're not sure when you're fighting, and you can kind of starting to hate boxing. There was one point when I didn't have the other stuff I've got where I was like, this boxing game. I don't know when I'm fighting. I don't know when this fight is, and if that's your career and that's what is paying your mortgage, you're going to start looking at it as a financial thing, even though obviously you're in it for the love of it as well as the money, but you start looking at it in a different way. But now I just enjoy it. So come training, I'm staying ready and I'm enjoying it. I'm 25 and I've just got to think positive. Something's going to happen, and I believe it will.
Now, I know there was talks of you facing Lawrence Okolie when that Manchester card got pulled, but obviously it clashed with other stuff that you had going on. Lawrence has since been announced that he's going to fight for the EBU title against Ngabu on the October 26th card. Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis undercard. What are your thoughts on that fight, Okolie and Ngabu?
So I don't really know, his opponent. I went over to Denmark to find Mickey Nielsen. That was his last opponent who he defended the belt against. So, and Mickey Nielsen is a strong, big fighter, big southpaw, and I think he beat him quite well, fairly well. And so he kind of caught my attention then. But I just think Okolie's got loads of attributes. But who knows? I'm sure Okolie believes he's going to win. I don't really care about that. I just care about where that British title's going.
That was going to be my next question. I know he's going to finish him, but are you hoping then when that is eventually vacated, you'd assume you're going to be trying to manoeuvre yourself into position to fight for that?
Yeah, definitely. Whatever I've got to do, I've always said I'd fight anyone, whoever my manager believes, and I've stepped up and didn't get it against Riakporhe because of the injury. But I believe me, Riakporhe, Lawrence Okolie are three names kind of. Jack Massey, but Jack's not fought anyone in Britain really, rated yet. So I believe I'm definitely up there with a chance to have a shot at it and win it. So hopefully, if he loses, he's going to keep the belt. He might get rid now, but if he loses, he'll keep the belt obviously and fight for the British. If he wins, it's going to be vacated. So I'm sure Riakporhe will probably get the first shot against whoever they make, maybe Massey, maybe me. It makes sense, me really. He's already fought me. So I can imagine that happening, to be fair. British title, me and Riakporhe.
And also, cheers, broken men as I let him back. I also wanted to get your thoughts on the past weekend, the Loma Campbell card, starting off with that headline fight. What was your thoughts on it?
Class. Love watching him, it's amazing. Just gives you more inspiration. You're just thinking, what a talent, and he's amazing. It's what it's quality, unbelievable. But the whole show was good. Hughie Fiore, I thought he did himself so proud. Like, he's 24 and he's been in with Pulev, Povetkin, Joe Parker, and he's not got the decision. But he's in there, and he's 24. So exciting, and yeah, proud of him.
What was your thoughts with regards to Loma Campbell, though? Do you feel there was anything more? I say anything more, but what was your thoughts with regards to Campbell's performance?
Yeah, it was Campbell's performance was great. I always thought it would be. Not saying I believe Campbell's superior than Crawler, but styles make fights, and I believe Loma and Campbell, because they're both southpaws. It was never. It could have been a bit tricky at times, and I think that was the case. And he's bigger than Loma, and thought it could be interesting. It could give Loma a bit to think about, which he did. So that's what I said to mates. Said it could be interesting. I do believe Loma's going to win, but Luke Campbell, class. Some of the stuff he was doing, some of his jab uppercuts and body shots, amazing. Yeah, he did so good. And
an interesting fight on that undercard, Edwards Martinez. Everybody assumed that Martinez had picked up that third round stoppage victory. Maurizio Sulaiman jumped into the ring afterwards saying it was a no contest, immediate rematch, etc. What was your thoughts on that entire situation?
Yeah, wow. See, but it's fair, isn't it? If you're on the deck, but I've done that before when I've put someone down and you're in the motion, you just hit him, and it's just the adrenaline pumping, and you've got a feel for what was he called? Martinez. You got a feel for him because he would have won. He was going to win, but this, it's give Charlie this little bit of, he's talking about moving up weights or whatever. So I reckon he'll probably vacate the belt, move up, move on, and then Martinez will deservedly fight for that belt. But then Charlie will go on and hopefully win another world title.
And Josh Buatsi and Joe Cordina, 2 Olympians picking up victories. Your thoughts on their wins?
I didn't watch them too. Okay. Yeah, I was eating. I went for.
You're in camp. You're not allowed to eat.
I know. Don't tell Joe. So that's why I went quieter then. But yeah, I missed them too. But I watched the Povetkin, Hughie, and the Campbell. Who else? And a bit of Charlie Edwards one.
And well, just to move back, I keep leaning back. I know.
Yeah, go through the window.
Just to touch as well on the fight the week before that, Anthony Yarde, Sergey Kovalev. Your thoughts on that one?
You know what? Fair play to Yarde, but then at the same time, Kovalev, he didn't look himself. I'm sure no one's mentioned this, but I'm sure he had something wrong with his shoulder. He was throwing he always has a low jab, but like when Yarde he didn't put his hand up once, as if he couldn't, like that. And if someone's barraging you with shots, I was thinking, what's wrong with his shoulder? But no one's mentioned it. But he knocked him out with a jab. What? Unbelievable. He must have some power. But all I know is, if Callum Johnson, fought him, it's game over for Kovalev. Genuinely.
What was your thoughts with regards to Yarde's performance? Did you think that he did better than what many would have expected? What you may have thought before, or?
No, to be fair, I thought he'd do good. I knew. It's one of them. Remember when Mayweather fought McGregor? Mayweather's got everything to lose. I believe that's what Kovalev's attitude was like. So if that was a sparring session, I reckon he would have beat Yarde up. Maybe not then, but a year ago or whatever. But in the fight, you're going to be a bit more, careful of Yarde. He's feeling Yarde's power, which let Yarde come into it a bit, I believe. All mind games, isn't it? So that's where I knew Kovalev, unless he just goes for him and shows him no respect, but he showed him respect, which you've got to. But that allowed Yarde to come into it and then start landing good body shots. And at one point, he was nearly out, wasn't he? Kovalev.
You've just mentioned he was nearly out. That was the 8th round. In the round before that, at the end of it, Tundi said to Anthony, go and empty the tank. And then obviously Anthony went and was also almost able to stop Sergey Kovalev. But what was your thoughts with regards to that instruction? And since then, Tundi's come in for some criticism over social media. Do you think it's fair or unjust?
Yeah, fair. Whatever your trainer thinks you should do at the time, it's all individual, isn't it? Joe, like for example, turn it to me. Say that happened with me and I put something out. Joe's told me before instructions and I've not listened. It's so important. So it's like hindsight, isn't it? So I didn't listen to the instructions just as in I should have, but I kind of You know, I didn't, but then I ended up losing because of the injury. But if I did do what Joe said, in hindsight, I would have stopped him. You know, and it's just a few things like that. But you've just got it's individual. If his trainer knew that this was the right time for Yarde, it probably was. That's how I believe. You know.
Well, Sam Hyde, I appreciate your time. I'll leave the last word on yourself, though. Anything you'd like to leave on?
No, thank you for your time. Yeah, just keep following. And I'll have that British title definitely soon.
Sam Hyde, thanks for speaking to myself from Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Sam.